Well, I'm absolutely delighted now to be joined by Laura Greene. Laura, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for taking the time to chat to us today.
My pleasure.
Now, you were giving the Fred Kavli lecture yesterday. First, let's start right at the beginning. What's the reasoning behind that lecture?
I think an important reason for the lecture is to bring the entire 10,000 person March meeting together. We identified a problem, a question that's long-standing, and it's tried to get across to all the different factions of the Physical Society membership of how exciting this field still is after so long of a time.
So what were you talking about yesterday?
I was talking about something we call the many-body problem, okay? Many-body problem as it relates to superconductivity. Superconductivity is a state that carries electricity without any resistance at all. And there are old superconductors that we know how they work. It's an amazing theoretical discovery. And there's a whole mess of new superconductors, which I call unconventional. And what happens in these materials is that above the temperature which they superconduct, the electrons form into these very interesting phases, like clumps and stripes, and they actually have a different kind of symmetry than the lattice. The lattice may be a square symmetry, and the electrons will form these little cigar-shaped things. And we are trying to understand why this occurs.
You say that it's an old field. Are you getting young people wanting to come into the field now?
Very exciting. I would say there was a lull in the mid-2000s, early 2000s. So superconductivity was discovered in 1911, so it's 103 years old. Conventional superconductivity was solved in 1957. And then a big shot in the arm was when high TC was discovered in 86. And what we've learned is that there's many, many classes of these unconventional superconductors that existed before high temperature superconductivity. And then when the iron-based superconductors were discovered in 2008, it was a real shot in the arm. It gave us the ability to compare and contrast the many, many, many families of these unconventional superconductors. So amazingly new theoretical ideas that are saying just completely different, brand new areas of computation. And we've changed the way we do our experiments and improved our experiments. And now I think it's just very exciting how I think this is going to be cracked. And the problem is, at least the whole many-body problem is about 60 years old.
Well, that's exciting, isn't it?
It is very exciting.
And one of the other themes of this particular meeting is communicating with people who are maybe not
right.
physicists. You know, we're talking about congressmen who's for budgets, and then for constituents, and right. for the public out there. How important is it, do you think, that physicists who deal with these kind of complex?
Oh, that's so important. I actually have interacted with the Alan Alda Center for Communication and Science, and I've talked with them a few times, and his people, they're amazing. I think it's important to see your congresspeople, and I go to the Hill once a year and see my Illinois congresspeople. But it's also, I think, vitally important for public engagement, because our congresspeople have to vote how their constituents want.
Right.
And if we could really get across the enthusiasm and the beauty of science in one aspect, but also the technological importance. If there was a discovery in physics not that many years ago that made it to the marketplace very quickly, without that discovery, your iPhone or iPod would hold one song. Right? So I don't think people understand how federally funded research, and if we could get that across, and I think it would be wonderful for the field and for the country, because we have the ability to make these technological advances through fundamental research.
Well, thank you very much indeed for talking to us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.